She was the wild girl he couldn't control by day, but by night she controlled him with her body. Dust of Montana's big sky country swirled like angry spirits under the relentless sun of 1879. I was Wyatt Kane, a hardened rancher pushing 40, with calloused hands from roping steers and a heart scarred deeper than the canyons I'd ridden through. My spread, the Iron Ridge Ranch, sprawled across valleys where buffalo once roamed free, now tamed by barbed wire and my iron will. But nothing prepared me for her Sadie Blackwood, the wildcat who stormed into my life like a prairie fire. It started in the Rough and Tumble, the town of Silver Bend. I'd ridden in for supplies, my spurs jingling against the saloon's wooden floorboards. The place reeked of whiskey and sweat, card games turning ugly in the corners. That's when the brawl erupted. A burly miner lunged at a slip of a woman dealing faro at the table, accusing her of cheating. She dodged his swing with the grace of a mountain lion, her fiery red hair whipping like flames. In a blur, she grabbed a broken bottle and slashed at his arm, drawing blood. "Touch me again, you pig, and I'll gut you like a trout." She snarled, her sapphire eyes blazing with fury. The room froze. I stepped in before the sheriff could haul her off something about her. Untamed spirit stirred memories of my own lost youth. Wild and free, before responsibility chained me. "Easy there, boys," I drawled, my voice low and commanding. "Lady's just defending herself?" The miner backed off, grumbling, but Sadie turned those eyes on me, sharp as daggers. "I ain't no lady cowboy, and I don't need savin'." She was 25, maybe. With freckles dusting her sun-kissed skin and curves that strained against her worn buckskin dress, rumors flew. She'd run from a bad marriage back east, surviving by wits and cards in the territories. Wild, they called her, unbreakable. I offered her a job on my ranch cook, stable hand, whatever to get her out of town before trouble boiled over. She laughed, a sound like thunder rolling distant. "You think you can handle me, Kane? Men like you try to break spirits like mine," but she mounted up behind me on my Appaloosa. Her body pressed warm against my back, sending a jolt through me I hadn't felt since my soldier days in the war between the states. By day, Sadie was a whirlwind I couldn't corral. She rode my best Mustang bareback, her laughter echoing as she outran the hands across the open range. Pete, my young wrangler with a mop of blonde hair and endless optimism, worshipped her from afar, blushing when she teased him about his roping skills. Old Zeke, the grizzled cook with a limp from a Comanche arrow, grumbled about her fancy ideas in the kitchen spicing stews with herbs she'd foraged from the hills. And me, I'd watch her from the corral fence, frustration boiling as she ignored my orders. "Sadie, damn it, those fences need mendin' before the herd scatters." I'd bark. She'd flip her red mane and retort, "Do it yourself, boss man. I ain't your tame filly." Her defiance ignited something primal in me, a mix of anger and desire that kept me awake nights. I'd lost my first wife to consumption 5 years back. She'd been gentle, domesticated. Sadie was the opposite, a storm that uprooted everything. One afternoon, a dust devil whipped up, spooking the cattle into a stampede. Sadie charged into the fray on that Mustang, lasso flying true, turning the lead steer just as it barreled toward Pete. She saved the boy, but took a nasty fall, her dress torn and legs scraped raw. I carried her to the bunkhouse, her body light but fierce in my arms. "Put me down, Wyatt," she hissed, but her fingers clutched my shirt, a vulnerability peeking through her armor. As I bandaged her, our eyes met her, stormy, mind-searching. "Why fight everything?" I murmured. She pulled away. "Control's an illusion, cowboy. I learned that the hard way. But by night, oh Lord, by night she ruled me utterly." It started innocent enough, after a long day branding calves. The moon hung low over the ranch house, stars scattered like diamond dust. I found her on the porch, nursing a tin cup of coffee, her hair loose and glowing in the lantern light. "Can't sleep?" I asked, settling beside her. She turned, her sapphire eyes softening in the shadows. "The wild calls to me at night. Makes me feel alive." Her hand brushed mine, electric, and before I knew it, her lips claimed mine fierce. demanding tasting of coffee and freedom. That first night she led me to the hayloft, her body a map of secrets I yearned to explore. By day she bucked against my authority, but in the dark she controlled every breath, every touch. Her fingers traced my scars, whispering, "Let go. Wyatt. Let me show you wild." She'd straddle me, her curves pressing insistent, guiding my hands to her hips as she moved like the wind over prairie grass low at first, then building to a frenzy that left me gasping. Her moans echoed in the stillness, a symphony of surrender and power. I, the stoic rancher who'd tamed land and beasts, was utterly hers. She'd bite my shoulder, marking me as her territory, her body arching in ecstasy that pulled me under like a riptide. Nights blurred into passion's haze. One evening, after a tense run-in with Rustler's Pete, spotting shadows on the ridge, Zeke loading his shotgun, we retreated to the cabin. Sadie's defiance melted into dominance. She pushed me against the wall, her lips trailing fire down my neck. "You think you own this ranch?" she purred, unbuttoning my shirt with deliberate slowness. "Tonight I own you." Her hands explored, teasing, commanding, until I begged for release. In those moments, vulnerability cracked us, both. She'd whisper of her past, a husband who'd tried to cage her, beating her spirit until she fled west. "You don't try to break me," she'd say, her body entwined with mine. "That's why I stay." But daylight brought clashes. A neighbor, grizzled rancher, Tom Harlow, rode over with warnings that Blackwood girl's trouble. Wyatt heard she's got bounties in Wyoming. Sadie overheard storming off to the hills. I chased her on horseback, finding her by a creek, skipping stones with fury. "You gonna send me packing?" she challenged. I pulled her close. "Never, but you gotta trust me by day, like I trust you by night." Our kiss there was raw. Daylight passion spilling over, but she pulled back. Trust ain't easy for a wild one. The turning point came during a brutal blizzard. Snow howled like banshees, trapping us in the main house. Pete and Zeke hunkered in the bunkhouse, but Sadie and I were alone. By firelight, her control shifted to something deeper, tender touches, shared stories. "I ran 'cause I feared losing myself," she confessed, her body warm against mine. "But with you, I find pieces I thought gone." We made love slowly, our leading but yielding bodies sinking in harmony that healed old wounds. Spring thawed the land and our hearts. Sadie stayed, her wildness channeling into the ranch, training horses with Pete, sharing recipes with Zeke. By day, we sparred like equals. By night, she commanded my soul. In her arms, I learned control was shared, love a wild ride worth every risk. Silverbend whispered of the rancher tamed by his wild girl, but we knew the truth. She didn't break me, she set me free.